Ahead on NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman.
Growing U.S. beef exports are helping to support strong cattle prices. We'll have an update. Plus, a visit to a unique Northern California cattle ranch.
And now, NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman with host Kevin Oxner.
Hello and welcome to NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman. I'm Kevin Oxner. Thanks for joining us. Topping this week's show, international demand for U.S. beef remains strong, according to statistics released by USDA. This year's export market is running well ahead of last year's pace, which means 2014's export totals could easily surpass last year's numbers and establish a new all-time record for the fifth time in 5 years. Kent Bacchus, Associate Director of Legislative Affairs for NCBA, says there's still room for additional growth if China resumes importing beef.
Right now, I would say that the biggest growth would be in Asia for beef consumption. China is opening its market to a lot of other countries. We're hopeful that the U.S. will be one of those here very soon. Hong Kong continues to be a very strong market. It's our second largest market. It'll be around $1 billion this year for us. So we see Asia as a great opportunity. TPP is also a great opportunity because it incorporates all those Pacific Rim countries who don't have a lot of beef production, but consumers who really want to buy beef. So we want to be the supplier for that, and we want our producers to benefit from that access.
And joining us now to share his insights on beef exports is Dwayne Lenz of CattleFax. Dwayne, thanks for coming back to the show.
You bet, Kevin. Good to be here.
You know, we've seen exports really adding value to cattle here in the United States over the last couple of years. Where do we stand now?
Pretty impressive, Kevin. We're at about $350 per head of every fed steer slaughtered in the U.S., which is about $25, $26 hundredweight to the price of a fed steer. Now, we can break that down a little bit further. If you look at just beef alone, it's worth about $225. The rest are hide and offals.
That's pretty significant. And what is driving that increase in value?
That's interesting. People around the world are coming into more money. They're becoming wealthier. We all know the population around the world is going up. But a lot of countries, Far East, Middle East, even countries in Africa, we haven't anticipated as being wealthier countries, are coming into more money. The old adage is, of course, if they don't have a lot of money, protein, bean, rice, move up the protein chain till we get to beef. And then U.S. grain-fed beef at the top of that chain. People get more money, they try that, they want more of it, they're willing to pay the price, and they keep coming back to us.
So tell us, what are the top 4 or 5 export markets as it stands today?
Top 5 account for about 75% of our exports. That's Mexico and Canada. That's Japan, South Korea, and Vietnam. It's also, as you look at that other 25%, that's actually the biggest block of exports, which is good because we would happen to lose one of our big 5. There's other countries in the wings wanting U.S. beef and growing these markets all the time.
Well, tell us what your crystal ball says. I mean, will this continue? What does the future hold for exports?
You know, I think it will. You know, population growing, more wealth. We've even ran analysis with car manufacturing and hide prices. The more cars they manufacture around the world, the more hides they need. That keeps going up. Of course, especially here in the U.S., we're not going to be doing that for a while. So still some upside in these markets.
Give us some of the potential risks, if you will. We remember the cow that stole Christmas. We've seen some pork export issues into Russia this year. What might be lurking out there that could damage or soften export opportunities?
There's probably 3 things that come to my mind. One is politics. We're in a highly politicized world right now. For some reason, it seems like every time there's a political dispute, somebody wants to ban something, it comes back to agriculture, and maybe it's pork, poultry, or beef or something. So we have a dispute with one of the other countries that wouldn't be good. You know, we're counting on people around the world continue to get more money, spend it on protein. If we come into a world recession, world depression, that wouldn't be good for us. Finally, it would be something like the cow that stole Christmas, some kind of a health or disease risk. And you know, as we go through our membership at CattleFax, we mention to them all the time, about 11% of our beef now is exported. So we like it, it's a good deal, but there's also risk involved. You know, if we wake up one morning and that's gone, there's a lot of risk in the market. You lose that kind of market share. So, you know, we need to keep our eye around the world and keep an eye on what's going on. We need to manage our risk, the world's a very volatile place, and it's a little scary out there sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your insight and perspective. Yeah. No doubt about it, these export markets are critically important, and I sure hope we continue this momentum.
Me too.
Want to keep up on the latest in beef exports? Visit NCBA's website at beefusa.org. And for more expert analysis on exports, be sure to visit cattlefacts.com. Still ahead on NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman.
The ranch has been in my family since 1867, through blood and marriage, or like my great aunt says, blood, sweat, tears, and toil.
We'll introduce you to a unique cattle rancher just north of San Francisco. And later, we'll get some expert insight on the latest round baler technology. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
You're watching NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman on RFD TV.
Sheila Carges. This is my husband Brock. We have two girls, Karina and Jessica. Both girls can pull cattle, doctor, process anything that we need them to do.
Using products that help keep the calves healthy, it helps my parents to be less stressful, it helps them to be at home more, and it helps pay more bills when you don't have to worry about sick cattle.
I'd say 99% of our cattle are high risk.
We've never seen a response due to metaphylaxis like we have with the Draxxin. I think Draxxin has a major role in any operation as far as your viability and your long-term outlook.
And how do you quantify having a peace of mind to take a vacation for a week or leave work early to go watch a basketball game? You can't quantify that.
Important safety information for Draxxin. Draxxin has a pre-slaughter withdrawal time of 18 days. Do not use in dairy cattle 20 months of age or older. Effects on reproductive performance, pregnancy, and lactation have not been determined.
We don't sit idle, wondering how we're going to build a better truck. We get out there and walk a mile, thousands of miles, in the footsteps of the guys we build trucks for. The groundbreaking Ram Heavy Duty, with 30,000 pounds of towing and 850 pound-feet of torque.
Their best performance begins with Lifeline, a revolutionary performance product with a unique active ingredient. So they feel their best, breathe with ease, and move effortlessly. Bring out the greatness inside them. Learn more about Lifeline's unique bioactive proteins at watchthemthrive.com.
Welcome back. Consumer confidence has a profound effect on beef demand. That's why NCBA is quick to respond to any issue that decreases confidence in beef or damages the reputation of cattle farmers and ranchers. Here to explain a little more about this effort is Susan Solorio, Executive Director of Issues and Reputation Management for NCBA. Susan, you lead a very unique team at NCBA. Tell us a little bit about that team and what it is you do.
Oh, you're absolutely right, Kevin. You know, one of the most difficult things to explain to producers what we do on their behalf every single day on behalf of the Beef Checkoff is really the Issues and Reputation Management program. And ultimately, our program and our team has two goals. We essentially are the offensive and the defensive line for the entire beef industry. We protect and help maintain consumer confidence by responding to issues of the day, whether that's issues related to safety, animal welfare, the environment, or nutrition. We get the right messenger and the right message to maintain that consumer confidence to our consumers. And then we also proactively work to strengthen the reputation and the image of farmers and ranchers in the way that they raise beef today. So it's really that combined proactive as well as reactive approach that our team focuses on every single day.
And why do you think issues and reputation management is so important in this day and age?
You know, I think that issues and reputation management is critical to the success, the long-term success of the beef industry. And I applaud the people that developed the beef industry long-range plan and really put in there strengthening the image of beef in the beef industry as a priority. Ultimately, we know today that the majority of people didn't grow up on a farm and ranch, and so you have a huge knowledge gap. And at the same time, you've got a lot of external factors working against you, whether that's well-funded animal rights groups, activist groups, whether that's well-funded research that says that people shouldn't eat beef for a variety of different reasons. Really, what we do with our programs is work to fill that knowledge gap while also keeping those negative stories at bay so that we can build trust in our product and the way our product is raised.
Well, let's talk about some of those issues. I mean, what are some of the key issues that you're working on now? And more importantly, what are some of the methods you typically use to respond to those issues?
You know, it really changes on a day-by-day basis and sometimes an hour-by-hour or second-by-second basis. And one of the things we're most proud of is a literally second-by-second social media listening platform that we utilize to keep an eye on all of these issues. We track thousands of beef mentions every single day. Everything from real safety threats like E. coli, salmonella, and recalls to perceived safety threats, the way that we use antibiotics or hormones that people think may have a long-term health consequence for them and their family. Sometimes it's the latest undercover video of the day suggesting that the way we treat animals isn't right, and sometimes it's the nutrition or environmental aspect. But what that social media listening tool allows us to do is bring in all of that data, look at what might damage that consumer confidence, and then very quickly, real-time respond to those issues. So it's really an incredible program. The other area that's critical to us is our producers as well as our state partners. Having them literally be the eyes and the ears on the ground and letting us know what issues are coming up and what they're hearing locally is instrumental to our long-term success.
But you mentioned early on, it's not just about defensive strategy, it's also about offensive strategy. What are you doing to proactively build the image of beef?
Yeah, absolutely. Our team focuses very proactively to build up the image of beef, and we know that one of the best things we have working for us is that consumers trust farmers and ranchers. They don't necessarily trust the farming and ranching practices, though. So what we do through our programs is we develop advocates, we develop producer spokespeople, we train farmers and ranchers and give them the tools and the confidence that they need to be able to go have those conversations one-on-one with consumers. And then we develop and look for opportunities to connect a consumer with that farmer so that we can really build up that trust in the farming and ranching practices. For example, earlier this summer, we took a group of bloggers and healthcare professionals out to a farm, ranch, and feed yard in Texas and let them ask one-on-one questions of the farmer. And you can see always through pre and post surveys how incredibly that builds trust in the farming and ranching practices. So those are programs that we're proud of, programs that really target the right influencer then to bring back what they learned to the right consumer audience.
And so tell us this, what's next? You're always wondering what is the next issue that we're going to have to fight. How do you anticipate that?
You know, we do a variety of things. I talked a lot about our social media listening tools. We also look collectively as an organization at what vulnerabilities might be coming up, where some of the animal rights groups are going and what they're talking about. So knowing what those external factors are at play, but it really can change in a heartbeat. And that's why I think these programs and the team that works on them day in and day out are so critical to the success of the industry. Long term, what we're also looking for is that proactivity. And one of the things I'm most excited about coming up this fall is the release nationwide of Farmland, which is the new documentary by James Mall. I know you had Brad Bella, one of the cattle ranchers, on there, and we have a lot of investment going towards that program and the success of that documentary.
Outstanding. Susan, thank you so much for everything you do so that we can continue doing what we love.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
A good way to stay on top of all the issues facing the cattle industry is to become a member of NCBA. To find out more, just give us a call at 1-866-USA-BEEF or visit our website, that's beefusa.org. Still ahead on Cattleman to Cattleman, see how one Arkansas operation is protecting its cattle from BRD. Plus, an up-close look at an environmental stewardship award-winning operation in California. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
We stand for what we believe in. We believe in you. It's more than a job. It's your way of life. Who you are, where you live, and what you do. The way you treat your cattle, your family, your employees, and your neighbors. The water you drink, the air you breathe, and the ground you walk on. What you do every day gives families something to gather around every night. It's about doing what's right for your cattle, your land, your community, and your business. It's your livelihood, and it means as much to us as it does to you. We all believe in responsible beef. Let's stand together at responsiblebeef.com.
Whether you're feeding cattle, milking cows, or baling hay, the work on your farm is never done, which is why you need equipment that works as hard as you do. Get the efficiency and versatility you need with Case IH. From farm-all compact and utility tractors to balers and mowers, all Case IH equipment is designed with one thing in mind: getting the job done. To learn more, visit caseih.com/livestock.
Well, I think a rancher has to be a steward of the land. There's nobody else that can take care of land better than a rancher can, because he has to make his living off of it. When we switched over to the Purina products, it was a step in the right direction, and it's really been profitable for us. It just makes that much of a difference.
The difference we see in the cattle is the consistency of their nutrition. They don't go up and down drastically in weight. Every head on this ranch is fed the Purina Superlix 30. If we keep them on that feed, they stay in optimum condition year-round.
The cattle hold their condition a lot better all throughout the whole year. The products they're producing are very much in line with what the rancher needs to be using to be profitable in the future. That's the best thing ever happened to us.
It does make a difference that we can see, day in and day out.
Welcome back. This week, we continue our series profiling the 2014 regional winners of the Environmental Stewardship Award. Let's head to California for a closer look at the Region 6 winner, Conlon Ranches and True Grass Farms.
Just a short distance from the Pacific coastline, Conlon Ranches and True Grass Farms are managed by Guido Frassini. Born in Italy, Guido spent summers on this ranch while growing up. He came to work here full-time at the request of his great-aunt Ione.
The ranch has been in my family since 1867. Through blood and marriage, or like my great-aunt says, blood, sweat, tears, and toil, we've managed to come through multiple generations all the way to this point.
I am so glad because he's taught himself. He's self-taught because upon the death of my husband, I took over myself, and as a woman it's difficult to carry on, and when Guido threw his hat in the ring, I was so pleased. It was just wonderful to have this young man with such a passion and enthusiasm come on board.
Located just about an hour north of San Francisco's Golden Gate Bridge, the ranch covers nearly 1,300 acres, borders an estuary that leads to the ocean, and is home to one of the largest Wagyu beef herds in the U.S.
We're the only Wagyu breeders and producers that are certified organic, and the only ones on the West Coast that finish Wagyu beef on grass. And that's what really spurred us into starting with the Wagyu, because we wanted to find a niche market and also to provide really high quality beef to San Francisco and the Bay Area. I started True Grass Farms 2 years ago to connect with the customers, to want to feed people that I knew instead of selling like we were calves to a feedlot. So partly was philosophical, partly the Bay Area is an incredible market. So we started with the retail production and with our first animals 2 years ago, and telling the story of like why our name is True Grass Farms, because we believe in collecting the sun, creating beautiful grasses, and then finishing animals.
When Guido began working full-time at the ranch 5 years ago, the pastures were in need of attention. With help from local universities as well as his own study, he gained knowledge of both cattle and land management and worked to use fencing to implement a grazing system.
We've definitely developed a program where by grazing with a higher stocking density And with giving a lot of rest periods, it's pulse grazing. So we're in potentially with 100 mother cows on 1 acre for 12 hours. And so they come in, it's pulse, they leave, everything takes time then to restore itself.
When Guido came on board, those were things that he noticed and began to develop. And so we have pictures of the pastures before Guido and pictures of the pastures after Guido, and there's quite a remarkable difference.
What I really enjoy about Guido's philosophy and what he does here is the fact that he is all about growing grass, and the byproduct of that is this amazing beef.
So what's amazing to me right now is just what he's done to keep this grassland intact in such a severe drought. And his land is healthy and vibrant in the face of some really extreme conditions. His water tables are rising. He's sequestering carbon and water. These are all extremely important and beneficial things that are happening here.
We've been able to see some tremendous increase in biomass production on the land, increase in organic matters, water filtration, especially in our wetlands, and diversity of habitats, and all this with food production.
Although the primary enterprise is the Wagyu cattle, Guido also raises hogs and chickens, feeding bread left over from a local bakery. And he's implemented a blueberry growing operation as another way to diversify.
So perennial crops are my favorite. Blueberries, something that's resilient, speaks to me deeply. And I've found that in the land, I've found that in the blueberries, and I found that with the cattle.
Whether it's cattle handling and grass management, growing blueberries, or using social media to help market his beef, Guido is passionate about sharing ideas and hosting guests on the ranch to enjoy the food produced here.
My heritage is half Italian, and quality of life is as important as anything else. So the idea of sitting down to a table and being able to eat food that you've produced and put love into, and you can share that with your loved ones, with new people that you invite into your home, is one of the most sacred things you can do.
When you have something that's a treasure, you have to share it. And that's one of the first things he instituted here on the ranch, to bring in others so that they can understand what it takes to produce food in America.
With plentiful grass and cattle that gain as much as 4 pounds a day, Guido is committed to maintaining the health of the land under his care, and he's keenly aware of the daily blessings offered by this land and lifestyle.
This is my job. This is where I live. I can breathe this air, I can walk the land. It also puts me in a mindset, in a spirit that when I engage with others, I can bring that passion, because this constantly keeps me excited. Having that sense of pride in what we do also secures the environment, because we live here. This is a reflection of us, and we're proud of it.
Why not join our friends at Conlon Ranches and True Grass Farms as a member of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association? To find out about all the benefits available to NCBA members, just call 1-866-USA-BEEF or visit the website beefusa.org. Still ahead, we'll visit with Baxter Black, plus a closer look at the latest balers from our friends at New Holland. We'll be back with more Cattlemen and Cattlemen right after this.
Producers need to work with their veterinarians, understand the label, and know how to vaccinate those cows properly prior to pregnancy so that they can deploy the modified live vaccines safely in those pregnant cows. Modified live vaccines that have to be used according to some restrictions on label to achieve the pregnant cow safety label, meaning they have to be vaccinated while they're open for the first time, and then they can be vaccinated as pregnant cows. If a producer does not know what the vaccination history is of a cow, they have one or two options. Before the bull is turned in, they can be given a Bovishield Gold FP vaccine at that time. Cattle Master Gold FP vaccine line is designed to give to any cow anytime. It's safe to give to pregnant cows regardless of how they've been vaccinated, and it also has a fetal protection claim for both IBR and BDD. So Cattle Master Gold is a logical choice. A close relationship with the veterinarian helps the producers weed through some of those decisions and design a program that actually meets the goals of what they're shooting for with reproductive protection.
New Holland is the undisputed leader in hay tools. We give farmers a wide range of innovative equipment that increases efficiency and productivity all year round. Because to us, smart means providing a smooth, clean cut with faster dry down, plug-free conditioning, and superior bale density. And smart means leaving less hay on the field to feed more livestock in less time. That's New Holland Smart. Visit your local New Holland dealer today.
Welcome back to Cattleman to Cattleman. I'm Kevin Ochsner. Thanks again for joining us. For more than a century, New Holland has been serving the needs of farmers and ranchers across North America. Let's take a closer look at a new baler that can help make silage a snap on your operation.
Hi, I'm Mark Lowry. I'm a round baler marketing specialist with New Holland Agriculture and would like to talk a little bit about our latest roll belt round baler, the roll belt 450 and 460 round balers just launched this year. We've made a number of improvements to this unit to allow customers to achieve more capacity and more efficiency in the field. Starting at the hitch, we've built in some hitch adjustability that will allow folks to adjust their round baler to the tractor. So from the upper to lower hole, you've got 2 inches worth of adjustment there that you can use in order to customize the baler to your tractor. Additionally, on our silage ready models, particularly the super feed and crop cutter and bale slice models, customers will have the a standard cutout clutch, which is basically a ratcheting clutch, which if a plug would happen to occur, customers could slow down the PTO and allow that clutch to work the plug or high volume through the baler and then resume baling. Really, one of the focuses with this baler has been a complete redesign of our pickup and feeding mechanisms, primarily to achieve more capacity for the producer in the fields. Starting with our roll belt 450 1.8 meter pickup, customers can get an active sweep feeder, which is a common shaft rotor, which will feed the crop over the rotor and into the bale chamber. In front of that feeder is a standard 4-bar pickup that is a beefed up pickup versus our previous models. It features increased strength pickup bands, increased strength 5mm pickup tines, and there's 112 of those tines on the 4-bar pickup. And we've also increased the rigidity of the tine bars themselves. Our pickup bands have also been reprofiled. Those bands feature a ridge at the bottom of the pickup, which creates an opening to allow crop to fall out of the pickup. So if you're in finer the material that may have the tendency to get trapped in there, that material will fall right out of the pickup and keep you running longer.
With high moisture hay, it's really a matter of the baler itself and having a baler that has the right components and equipment to handle that tougher environment in high moisture hay.
On the new roll belt 450 and 460 balers, we have several features that make silage special bale slice, super feed and crop cutter units ready to handle the high demands of high moisture baling. Up inside the tailgate, you would find looped rolls in order to prohibit crop from wrapping around those rolls, paired with scrapers to keep material and wet crop free of those rolls and free from binding. Also up in the chamber, we've relocated the back wrap roll to allow for 20% more driving force with these balers. It basically provides for more contact with the roll and the belt in order to perform a lot better in tough conditions. Looking inside the chamber, once we've fed the bale, and in this case in the super feed model, once we feed the crop up into the bale chamber, we would feed that up onto the floor roll, and the starter roll right above the feeder would help to start the core of that bale quickly and easily every time. You also notice those two black tabs inside the bale chamber. Those are actually flexible pieces that give you bale direction feedback or bale formation feedback. So if you're starting to form a bale that's maybe a little heavy or light on the left or right side, you'll get directional feedback on the monitor inside the tractor to help you make a more perfect bale. So as that bale hits the floor roll, that floor roll is very important because it carries most of the weight of that bale, which reduces stress on the belts. And it also carries that bale to the rear of center of that floor roll so that when you are ready to eject a bale, it easily and quickly falls out of the bale chamber. Another innovative feature for operator ease and comfort is a drop floor as standard equipment on superfeed and crop cutter models. And this drop floor basically allows actuation from the cab. If a plug would occur, the floor between the feeder, in this case the superfeed rotor, to drop down and relieve the pressure on that crop so that the PTO could be re-engaged and it would suck that crop into the bale chamber. So it allows operators, again, to stay in the cab, reduces the need for, if a plug situation does occur, for the operator to get down out of the tractor and have to dig that baler out. So it keeps you in the field longer, right where you belong. New Holland has a long tradition in the silage special baling market. We've always looked at our balers and tried to figure out how to meet the needs of what folks are looking for. This gives an alternative option to dry hay that still retains a lot of value in that bale so you can get high quality feed for the rations for your beef animals.
Harvested feed costs are the most significant part of an annual cow budget or expense. One of the benefits of it is you can try to beat Mother Nature in terms of, say a day like today that's a little cloudier, you can possibly get hay harvested before a weather front or a significant rainfall event comes through, and that'll help avoid losses. You know, those are big pluses to me for baleage or wrapped hay.
In today's world, it's critically important to have the right piece of equipment to do the job the most efficient and economical way that you can do that. And we try to provide our customers with a full product and a good understanding of how to properly use the equipment and how to make the best hay that they can make so they can deliver the most nutritional value to their herds.
New Holland has the right equipment for you no matter what your hay and forage needs may be. For more information on the Roll Belt 450 and 460 or any other New Holland product, just visit their website at newholland.com. Just ahead, we'll have the latest on what cattle producers can do to battle BRD. And later, we'll hear from the cowboy poet himself, Baxter Black. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
New Holland is the undisputed leader in hay tools. We give farmers a wide range of innovative equipment that increases efficiency and productivity all year round. Because to us, smart means providing a smooth, clean cut with faster dry down, plug-free conditioning, and superior bale density. And smart means leaving less hay on the field to feed more livestock in less time. That's New Holland Smart. Visit your local New Holland dealer today.
Some call it a come-from-behind victory, an unlikely win, a reversal of fortune, snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. This is our moment, our victory dance, because we choose confidence. We choose Zuprevo for BRD treatment. Ask your veterinarian to prescribe Zuprevo. Zuprevo is a fast-acting, long-lasting BRD treatment that you can count on to get the job done. Choose confidence. Choose Zuprevo from Merck Animal Health.
Hi there, I'm Joey.
And I'm Rory, and welcome to our farm outside Nashville, Tennessee. When we go to work, whether it's on tour or here at home, we wear the West.
That's right, where it's that perfect snap shirt or that perfect pair of boots. When you wear Roper, you wear the West.
Learn more about us, Joey and Rory, and about Roper Western Wear at eroper.com.
Telling the truth and being real and feeding my family a home-cooked meal. That's important to me. That's important to me. And planting the garden and watching it grow.
Welcome back, and thanks again for joining us. Bovine respiratory disease, commonly known as BRD, can cause devastating losses in cattle operations. In fact, this disease alone costs beef producers in the U.S. as much as $900 million each and every year. We learn more about combating BRD from reporter Brian Baxter.
Not far from the Texas and Arkansas border, Brandon Wren is constantly working to keep his stocker cattle healthy. From his experience in the cattle business, he knows that minimizing stress on animals can help them achieve high productivity.
Both of my grandparents were in the cattle business as well as my dad. My dad was a thoroughbred racehorse trainer, and we traveled all over, and when I was in college, I wanted to stay home, and I kind of went the cattle route. Oh, I love the stockers. It's constantly turning over. Every few months you're getting new cattle, and you're in the market, whether you're buying or selling. You're so much in tune with the world and what the beef demand is and our production.
Like most other stocker operations, Brandon receives cattle from many different locations, and these animals often travel long distances before arriving at Wren Land and Cattle. Brandon knows how important it is to address BRD in these stressed cattle upon arrival.
Well, many stocker operations get their cattle from all over the place, and so they don't know the history and the background of a lot of them, and so they're really putting animals together, trying to get them on feed as quickly as they can, trying to make them be productive and profitable. We don't know the background of the cattle, we don't know their vaccination history, we don't know their nutritional history. A lot of times, treating on arrival is really the only way to be productive, to prevent those animals from getting sick, coming down with clinical disease, and so it's really important to use that management technique using a product like Zactran on arrival for control of BRD.
In my opinion, a lot of the BRD is related to stress, whether it be from the traveling, not knowing where its mama is, whatever it is. So we're trying to eliminate that and get them as happy and content as they can be. So they're learning to eat. When we're receiving these calves, when we're giving them the Zactran, we're trying to get that week to 10 days and fighting any incoming BRD. When we receive the calves, we're processing them there pretty quick. We're trying to get them as stress-free as we can. That's why we like the Zactran. We can kind of kick them out and let them learn how to eat rather than sitting there pulling them every day with the horses, trying to let them learn their new environment.
Well, if you have a bacterial infection, particularly in an instance where an animal is stressed, it's maybe not on feed because it's in a new environment, then it doesn't have the capability to respond effectively using its natural immune responses. And so we really need to have an antibiotic on board to help that animal deal with that infection, that bacterial infection during the short term, to where then it can get over its stressful situation, get back on feed, and really start to respond and get its immune system to kick in.
It pays to stay ahead of BRD. The disease not only causes short-term losses, but can severely damage an animal's lungs enough to decrease lifetime performance.
The anatomy of the bovine lung really set it up for a bacterial pneumonia. And once that gets started, it's a downward spiral where the consolidation leads to less lung capacity. And if we don't get ahead of the infection as quickly as possible, we can really severely affect that animal's productivity and its long-term health.
Both Brandon and Dr. Tessman see the value Zactran can bring to the table for cattle producers managing BRD.
I have been very happy with the results of Zactran. Zactran has worked very well for me. So it's hard to change when something is working for you. I think that it's brought value to my herd. For one, a smaller death rate, smaller morbidity. The cattle are just overall healthy. So when they are turned out to the wheat and to the spring grasses, they'll gain. They don't have anything plaguing them.
Well, I would encourage producers to talk to their veterinarians about Zactran and trying it out in their operation. I truly believe that it can be a very key part of an overall management of BRD and can make the producer more profitable and the animals more productive.
Managing the health of his cattle is the first focus, but Brandon also notes that with less cattle to pull and treat, he's found himself with time to enjoy other things in life.
I think that Zactran has brought to me on the front end more time management. We're processing these calves. It doesn't take any extra time to process them with the Zactran in conjunction with our vaccines. So it allows me more time to do other things. We can get so engulfed in staying out here and worrying about our cattle all the time, we forget what's at home. The use of the Zactrans, you know, helps a little bit more of the time managed so we can come home early and tend to our family. This ranch, you know, this is my source of income. So, I mean, Zactran and the control of BRD is my livelihood. It helps me financially, keeps the bankers happy, the family happy, keeps everybody happy.
From outside Texarkana, I'm Brian Baxter reporting for NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman.
Here is some important safety information. For use in cattle only, do not treat cattle within 35 days of slaughter. Because a discard time in milk has not been established, do not use in female dairy cattle 20 months of age or older, or in calves to be processed for veal. The effects of Zactran on bovine reproductive performance, pregnancy, and lactation have not been determined. Zactran is a registered trademark of Mariel.
For full prescribing information, talk to your veterinarian or call 888-637-4251. Or you can visit Zactran.com. Still ahead, another visit with our friend Baxter Black that you won't want to miss. Stay with us.
There's something wrong. His head is down. He's clearly stressed. He's worried sick about BRD. That's why there's prescription Zactran for BRD treatment and control in high-risk cattle. Get a rapid response plus 10-day treatment and control in a single dose, so you can stop worrying and get back to business. For use in cattle only, do not treat cattle within 35 days of slaughter. Because a discard time in milk has not been established, do not use in female dairy cattle 20 months of age or older, or in calves to be processed for veal. The effects of Zactran on bovine reproductive performance, pregnancy, and lactation have not been determined. Don't worry yourself sick. Talk to your veterinarian about a real alternative for BRD treatment and control. Because it's critical, it's Zactran from Mariel, a leading animal health company.
Back on those Texas plains. Join us, Riders in the Sky, for sizzling hot San Antonio.
It's the 2015 Cattle Industry Annual Convention and NCBA Trade Show.
So grab the family and head to Texas for the latest cattle industry information and education, plus some fun and entertainment with us.
It's an event you won't want to miss. Join us in San Antonio, Texas, February 4th through February 7th. There's plenty more information at beefusa.org.
And we'll be back on those Texas plains. See you there, saddle pals.
We know who made that hitch. We know who cut the steel, who milled the ball, and who welded the seams. We know who tested, measured, and checked. We even know who thought the whole thing up. We're B&W, and we know your hitch. Because we don't make them halfway around the world. We make them all right here. B&W. Trusted.
Working your cattle just got easier. Introducing the new Vet Gun delivery system, a new way to apply topical insecticides to your cattle. The Vet Gun lets you remotely treat cattle with effective parasite control, so you can do it from an ATV, on horseback, or just walking among the herd. It's that simple. The proven topical insecticide AML Vet Cap is used with the Vet Gun. It works fast to control horn flies and lice while minimizing stress on your cattle. Fast, easy, effective. Vet Gun. Check with your animal health supplier for availability.
Now, whoever built this crowding pen had built a real beaut, but it's obvious he'd never put a critter through the chute. They were flooding all around us in this cowboy cul-de-sac when a big old redneck mama mounted my old pony from the back. My rope tied to the saddle horn uncoiled like a snake and dallied round my boot that I'd kicked free for safety's sake when a passing horned intruder speared my catch loop from the air In retrospect, I believe my luck was all downhill from there. Being caught between a bucking horse who's finally jumped the fence and a pig-eyed cow who stood her ground in sullen self-defense. I was somewhere in the middle as they dragged me back and forth with my right arm waving Dixie and my boots a-pointing north. I was getting full of splinters and my clothes began to smoke like a Mexican riata when the nylon finally broke. I awoke to see the doctor's flashlight peering in my eyes. He'd apparently detected life and begun to improvise a test to check my brain involving trigonometry. In a soothing voice, he asked, "What's 97 minus 3? Well, I stared back at him dumbly with a blank look in my eyes. "I'm afraid," the doc concluded, "he's begun to stupefy." I said, "Doc, just hold your horses. This really ain't quite fair. I can read a brand blindfolded just by feeling of the hair. I can spot a raw imposter, be he saddle horse or man, and always find Polaris, track a lizard in the sand. I can count a pen of cattle that come pounding through the gate and never miss a single steer. Doc, I can tell you what they ate. Ask me how to treat a gravel or who's winning all around. There's lots of stuff I savvy that'll prove my brain's still sound. But you're concluding that I'm daft upstairs, just a lame brain buckaroo. I'd have passed your test if you'd asked me something that I knew." This is Baxter Black from Out Center.
Thanks, Baxter, and good luck on your next test. Stay with us. There's more Cattleman to Cattleman right after this quick break.
This isn't a job, it's a calling. Your hard work helps feed the world. Being linked to those who care for the land is our calling. For more than 175 years, John Deere has been a proud partner of the cattle business. That's why we bring you special NCBA member discounts, so you can get the right equipment, strong, rugged, versatile, and ready to work hard. Talk to your John Deere dealer to learn more about your NCBA member discounts. John Deere, committed to the land, committed to your success.
Tough trailers built for tough country. Big Ben Trailers manufactures a different kind of trailer, one that's built to put up with the rough conditions found on the ranch. Rugged build using heavy gauge powder coated steel and a 2x4 rectangle tube frame. There's a 1-inch gap between the side and floor, so there's no place for water or manure to accumulate and rust. Big Ben trailers are loaded with standard features: a lever action hitch, a 3-foot escape gate and a middle sorting gate, rhino lining along the front edges, and a receiver hitch to tow another trailer, chute, or other equipment. Tough and practical. That's Big Ben Trailers. Designed and built by a working cattleman, you can rely on and trust Big Ben Trailers for their durability and convenient features. Reasonably priced for any rancher to afford. For a list of dealers and other design features, visit BigBenTrailers.com. Big Ben Trailers, built cattlemen tough.
It's the official monthly publication of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. The National Cattleman is produced exclusively for NCBA members and includes coverage of the news and events affecting our industry. From Capitol Hill to the far side of cattle country, the National Cattleman provides information NCBA members need. Every issue includes market analysis, feature stories, and practical management tips. Start receiving your copy of The National Cattleman. Call 866-USA-BEEF or go online to beefusa.org and join today.
Welcome back. Over the years, beef producers have embraced the Beef Quality Assurance Program because it's vital to keeping demand strong. Anne-Marie Bosshammer, Executive Director of the Nebraska Beef Council and a Nebraska beef producer herself, explains why BQA education is so important to our industry.
Beef quality assurance is so important for our industry. It's something that consumers just think we're doing every day, and we are, but it's so important for our producers to continue to educate themselves and continue to try and do things better and better. And so the strides that we've made through the BQA program have been phenomenal, but we can't stop there. So we need to continue to educate and make ourselves better for the consumers so that they can have a great product like they always have.
Now, if you've been putting off getting your BQA certification, now is the time to do it. You can get certified at no cost thanks to support from Boehringer Ingelheim Vet Medica Incorporated. That offer continues through October 31st. To get started, just visit the website bqa.org/team. Time now for this week's Legacy Photos. Let's return to Conlon Ranches and True Grass Farms in California. Why not send us a favorite picture of your farm or ranch? It's easy to do. Just visit our website, cattlemantocattleman.org, include your ranch or farm name and your hometown, and we may use your photo on a future episode. Next week on NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman, we'll head to South Dakota for a closer look at another Environmental Stewardship Award-winning operation. And we'll tell you about a 4-H leadership program that is sponsored by Farm Credit. Plus, the latest cattle industry news, and of course, another visit with our friend Baxter Black. Well, that wraps up this edition of NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Kevin Ochsner. We'll see you next week right here on RFD TV.